Obey all signs and signals at train crossings. They're there to keep you safe.
December 3rd of 2022, a black SUV and a dump truck found themselves stopped ahead of a railroad crossing somewhere on the outskirts of the city. A train was barreling towards them, and what happened next had the whole internet scratching their heads. In the video, it is clear that a train is coming. The arms are down and traffic is stopped. Precisely at this point, the dump truck decides to start nudging the car ahead of him forward, pushing the SUV right onto the tracks. A rail worker, seemingly unaware of the unfolding drama, lifts the crossing arms, but they get stuck halfway. Then, the truck driver reverses, taking the crossing arm with him. Things take an even weirder turn when the people in the SUV get out of the car, seemingly to inspect the damage that was done. Why not keep driving when a train is heading right for you? Thankfully, after a quick pause, the driver hits the gas and narrowly avoids a collision, missing the train by what looks like inches. The truck driver claims their brakes failed. The internet quickly accused him of foul play. After all, his brakes worked fine after he backed.
The Lake State Railway train accident occurred in Bay County, Michigan, on the afternoon of Friday, July 21st, 2023. The incident involved a Lake State Railway cargo train. Unfortunately, the tank car was not transporting any hazardous materials, and no harm was reported.
None of them were near the tracks when this train came loose. Details on this accident are scarce. From the video, we can tell that there's a short hill on the other side of the tracks. Cars kept pulling each other down as they fell into the gutter. The real question is, what was inside of those tankers, and did anything spill into the environment? Hopefully it was nothing, but this was just a minor accident and
Never try to outrun a train, please.
much of England, the people rely on an intricate railway network to get in and out of the major cities. On February 21st of 2023, two reckless drivers on a moped decided to test their fate. A speeding train was on its way. The flashing lights and crossing arms said so. But these daredevils decided to ignore the signs and narrowly avoided a horrendous accident. The lights begin flashing. The crossing arms slowly descend. Both are universal signs that a train is fast approaching. The pedestrian and their dog have no idea what they're about to witness. The moped comes around the bend with no intention of stopping. They change lanes and zip through the intersection with only a fraction of a second to spare. The train roars through at 70 miles per hour. Our pedestrian probably thinks they just saw a tragic accident. These reckless kids don't realize how badly they scared the train driver. He had to make an emergency stop and compose himself after the near miss. He'll live the rest of his life wondering what could have happened if he hit them. Inspector Emma Bolton of the British Transport Police called it the most reckless behavior on a level crossing she has seen in her entire
On Monday, November 11th, 2019, a head-on collision occurred between two trains in the southern city of Hyderabad, India. The driver, who was trapped for 6 hours, was successfully rescued. The collision resulted in the derailment of 6 coaches of a local train and 3 coaches of the Hundree Express. On the afternoon of November 22nd, a collision occurred in Kazakhstan between a truck and a freight train near the Kondratovka and Petropavlovsk stations. During the incident, the truck overturned, coinciding with the passage of a passenger train on the adjacent tracks. The collision resulted in the derailment of 4 freight train cars and the separation of the passenger train cars. Fortunately, there was no harm reported among the passengers on the trains.
Don't cross the street where there are no crosswalks. Huge props to the truck driver. I always keep an eye on the trees around me during storms. Unbelievable reaction time. Stay away from tracks, folks. Be patient and wait for the train to pass. It's better to wait a few minutes than to risk your life. If you see flashing lights or hear the train horn, stop immediately.
The Stirling Railway Station is one of several stops on the Trans-Perth line. It's how people north of the city get into the heart of Perth, the capital of Western Australia. It services about 4,700 passengers every day, but on August 6th of 2014, one of them almost didn't make it. A man was stepping onto the train when his leg slipped between the car and the platform. Imagine the horror he must have felt, thinking the train was about to take off while he was stuck. Luckily, his fellow commuters came together and saved his life. That's our guy in the hat and black shirt. Thankfully, he wasn't alone when his leg slipped through. A worker signals to the driver not to move, and they quickly deboard the train. Everyone gets the idea to push the train and widen the gap. It takes a few good heaves and effort from everyone on the platform. With enough force, they move it just enough for him to slip his leg out. According to local reports, the man was unharmed and the train left only 15 minutes behind schedule. He was thankful for his fellow commuters, but couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. There was a sign that read, "Mind the gap," right where he fell. Charm meets urban convenience. This next story, however, is a lesson to all of us about the dangers of impatience. Footage from various angles shows a truck fast approaching a train crossing somewhere in the Cambodian countryside. In the video, the truck is clearly picking up speed, hoping to beat the train. Despite a rail worker frantically waving a warning flag, it seems the driver was determined to make it across. He almost makes it when the train clips the rear bumper, sending both vehicles crashing. Another angle gives us further perspective. Fortunately, the vehicles and bystanders nearby managed to avoid getting hit by the train and the truck. The aftermath was a rather chaotic scene. Both the truck and the train car ended up flipped. Rescuers and officials flocked to the scene, likely wondering where to even begin with such a disaster. As the camera pans, we see fluid spilling from the train car. Every shot reiterates one fact: the truck driver was in a rush trying to beat that train. Incredibly, and quite luckily, he emerged with only minor injuries. He might have dodged serious physical harm, but he is certainly facing legal consequences now. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch